Viewers sent me this comment about trading with Ashley. They said, I've stopped watching her videos as I can not take it any longer. I was watching a video of her trading MSTR live on November 22nd. MSTR was trading around 442. So her idea was to buy 100 shares, which she did, and then sell a call at the 442.5 strike. So her shares would get called away in a few hours, as this was on a Friday. She received $1,025 for selling the call. Now she said, you have some fun money for the weekend to spend. After she completed this trade, MSTR turned around and sold off. The call expired worthless and she still had the shares. That is the last day MSTR closed that high. So she bought the shares at the high of the day just to sell a call. Now, if she still owns the shares, as they have never closed that high again, she is down around $14,000. This is probably the most irresponsible trade I have ever seen someone put on. You should do a video on that trade she put on. She even talked about the possible downside is that MSTR sells off down to 350, and all she said is, that would be a bummer. So instead of taking some of that premium and protect the downside with a put, she suggested you go spend the money and have a fun weekend. Unbelievable. Well, I actually looked into what this guy said, and he's accurate. I looked for Ashley's video on 11/22. He's right about the 442, the 442.5. Even with the quotations, I remember when I watched the video that she did say something of that nature. So I really respect this guy's attention to detail. And I want to show you the actual video. That way we can go through it. In the future, if you're watching this and you want me to go through someone's video, then leave a comment like this where everything is very specific and accurate, because it's very easy for me to take a comment where everything is laid out in an easy to understand format and then simply verify it and make a video about it. All right, let's go watch that video that he's talking about with Ashley.
Hello and welcome to the Trading with Ashley show.
I love how she portrays such a wholesome Southern image. It's like, hey, you can trust me. I'm an older woman from Louisiana. Look, I'm here with my animals and my pets and my dog, and let's go make some money, y'all. Now, again, I live in the South too, no problem whatsoever. But the only reason why I think that this is fair game is because if you remember the last video that I made on Ashley, her sales agent blatantly lies, misrepresents, and tries to psychologically manipulate the prospective student. So because Ashley employs that type of behavior with her sales agents, I don't necessarily think that it's such a cheap shot to have a lighthearted joke about her Southern accent and the image that she's portraying.
I am so glad that the weekend is here. It has been a crazy week for sure. We have had so much going on with all the craziness. We had MSTR yesterday and the short report from Citadel, and then today the recovery. It has been quite the roller coaster ride for sure. And ironically, it's options week and all of you had selected the stock MSTR to trade. So that was a little bit of an interesting dynamic because I was like, well, we can't really sell puts on MSTR. It's running again today. And so I came up with a unique solution on my...
Why couldn't you sell puts on it? That doesn't necessarily make sense. I'm sure that the implied volatility on MSTR is extremely high. So why wouldn't you want to sell puts? If it's trading at 400, then even if you sold the 300 put that expired in 2 to 3 weeks, you'd probably be able to pick up around $6 or $7 a premium. I remember in my trade alerts where we sold call options on MSTR with around a $900 strike, and we picked up $800. And actually, shout out to another one of my commenters. He made over $4,000 and alerted me to the trade because he had sold $4,000 worth of call options on MSTR the day before. And then he hopped on one of my videos and left me a comment. And then I made a similar trade the day after. So props to him for pointing that out. As far as Ashley is concerned, I don't see any reason why you couldn't sell put options on MSTR.
And so I'm going to go ahead and attach that to this video so that you can watch it. And it looks like you enjoyed the live, so I will probably be going live more often and trading live for all of you. I think it's helpful because you can kind of see how my brain works when the market's open. I'm actually making trade.
Well, if the results of your subsequent live trading is anything like the results of your first live trading, I don't think many people are going to be able to stomach losing over $10,000 every single time you live trade.
I have something very exciting to share. I am offering the new Trader Network. It is a separate Discord, different from my inner circle where the vast majority.
In my opinion, Discord is such garbage. And the reason is that there's so much noise on Discord. You have so many different messages. That's why I only have one-way broadcasts for my alerts, because with Discord, there's so much junk and so much noise. It's really like trying to find a needle in a haystack.
The trades are going on, but it is a wonderful place for you to learn how to option trade. My course is a part of that network. It's a self-paced course. It'll give you a great foundation. And I have a coach in there helping people learn the basics. And then after you feel like you're ready to graduate to the big leagues, you can. But it'll just be a better opportunity for those of you that want to get into options and you just don't feel like you have the money quite yet, or you don't have the knowledge.
Oh my God. Every single time I watch YouTube videos, I watch it at 2x speed. So to listen to this at 1x speed while making the video is super painful right now.
Way to break into the world of options. And for those of you that are further along and you want to join Ashley's Inner Circle, it's a great place to be. We certainly have fun all day together. We trade all day together.
And at least for this one specific trade, you all lose money together too.
Live sessions so that we could navigate with all the changes that happened in MSTR. MSTR won the challenge.
MSTR, y'all.
What a roller coaster ride we have had with MSTR in the last few days. Citadel did their hit piece and it tumbled the stock. It started recovering today. It recovered nicely. If you're in my community, we went live unexpectedly last night.
Yeah, let's pitch the community.
It started recovering today. It recovered nicely. If you're in my community, we went live unexpectedly last night just to do some trade doctoring.
Yeah, I don't know what
that is today. And luckily
for everyone
MSTR
watching, we lost over $10,000.
and we were able to successfully either roll our trades, close out in profit, or take out some new ones. So this stock is such a volatile stock. But I'm aware and realize the volatility, it's there for a reason.
Yeah, but just real quick, to be serious, it doesn't make sense if she's talking about volatility being your friend, but then she earlier said that you can't sell puts on it. That, again, doesn't make sense because just like I was able to sell a call option and pick up over $900, even though the call strike was more than 100% higher than the current market price, there's no reason why you couldn't just sell a $300 put on MSTR and pick up at least $600 or $700. I think it's probably going to be closer to $1,000 or even more, but I would think at least you'd pick up $600 or $700. So it's a little bit weird that here she's saying that volatility is your friend, but then earlier she was saying that you can't sell a put option.
Associated with high volatility plays, but there's ways that you can make them safer. And that's what I specialize in. I try to take high volatility plays and make them safer so that you can enjoy what comes with the volatility. That's extra premium when you're an options seller.
All right, real quick on this. What she's saying is technically true, but it's a little bit misleading in my opinion, because what she did was she went long 100 shares. So then dollar for dollar, she would profit, or dollar for dollar, she would lose money. By selling a covered call option and picking up $1,000, you're only protecting yourself by $10 of downside risk for every contract that you sell. And that option expired the same day. So yes, I get it. You could resell it the next week. But if the stock is cratering, then by you selling a call option, you're actually guaranteeing yourself a loss on that trade. For example, if MSTR falls from 440 down to 380, and then you sell a call option, even with a strike of about 420, which would probably give you an incremental $10 of premium, you would still have a large loss on that position. And then because you're selling the covered call, even if MSTR then went back up to around 450 or 460, where it could have showed you a profit, you would still lock in your loss on that trade because you sold the covered call. Covered calls are not free money. What you're doing is you're trading the upside potential on that security in order to mitigate the downside. But if you have a highly volatile stock like MSTR, if it drops $150, why does it matter if you pick up $10 or $20 or $30 of premium? And that's nothing in the big picture. She could have done numerous things, but one of the things she could have done was use that call premium and then purchased an out-of-the-money put option in order to protect her downside. She also could have used call debit spreads, etc. But there are way better ways of structuring this trade so that she would not have lost over $10,000.
And seller, they take advantage of all that extra premium. The stock is running today. So we do not want to sell puts on a day that a stock is running fast and hard. But
in general, what she's saying is accurate. However, the primary reason why I disagree with this is that the implied volatility on MSTR is so incredibly high, which is why she was able to pick up $10 of premium for an option that expired in a few hours. She could have collected a lot of money by selling out of the money puts just because of the implied volatility.
it stops and backs up, then we're going to probably be left holding the bag, buying the stock for
Which is
higher
exactly what happened.
Plus, we're not going to get quite as much premium as if we had waited for a red day.
But it just doesn't make sense. If the stock has run up so much in one day, why would you buy shares at the very top? That's just so foolish. That's a perfect opportunity where you'd want to sell call options, or you'd want to buy a put debit spread, or you'd want to sell very far out of the money put options. Why would you buy shares of a speculative company at the very peak?
I think the play I'm going to do for you is something that you may have heard before. It's called a buy right. And all that is buying 100 shares of a stock and writing a contract against those 100 shares at the same time. And so what that does is we buy the shares at a high point because it's running today, but we immediately sell.
Okay, so you're completely okay with buying the shares at a high point so that if it goes down, you lose dollar for dollar, but you're not okay with selling an out of the money put option. Why is anyone taking advice from this person? That just doesn't make any sense. She said herself that she's buying it at a high point. That's investing 101. Why would you want to buy high? In that situation, if you want to own the shares, sell a far out of the money put option. That way you give the stock time to digest its gains.
Covered call saying these 100 shares that I'm about to buy, you can take them away from me. And today's an expiration date. So I'm going to use today. And for that, I
kind of get the impression that when she's talking, she's always telling herself to smile. Hey, honey, make sure that you always smile. You know, because look at her face. She always seems super happy. I wonder if she's like that with her daughters, but it just seems a little bit disingenuous because there are very few people that I know who are genuinely like that in real life.
And to pay me to honor my commitment and give up these brand new baby shares I just bought.
Oh, yeah.
Like giving my shares up for adoption.
Oh, so, man, I got to give up my babies.
What, Ash, for you?
Sorry, I just don't have the attention span to watch this video again, especially at 1x speed. So I'm going to be jumping around a little bit.
So that I could do this trade live, and I think it's going to work out pretty good. And it's a good way for you to learn because a buy right is not the money for the weekend. I hope you have fun weekend. One way in my community that if we just want to get in on the action on a green day and everything's running high, this is a way to do it.
Oh,
okay?
yeah, because it worked out so
let me share my screen, and we're going to go try to make this happen for all of you so you can make some money for the weekend.
You can.
Maybe you can make a little extra cash to go and have a nice dinner tonight.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let me share my screen.
Oh, yeah, but since y'all are down about $14,000 on this here trade, I guess y'all are going to be eating some rice and beans for the next 3 months to compensate for them losses.
All right, here's what I'm going to do for all of you. I am going to do this the old school way because you need to know how to do this one way or the other. I am going to go buy 100 shares right now, live. I'm going to go buy 100 shares.
Oh, man. She was already long 2,000 shares. Did you see that? Did you see that she was already long? So on MSTR, she's lost over $300,000 since late November 2024. And you guys are paying for her. She's taking the money that you guys are paying her in her memberships, and I believe she's adding it to her brokerage account so that she doesn't show significant losses. But what about the people who don't have membership money coming in? They're not going to be able to add that money to compensate for these losses. If you have a small account, especially if you've used margin, you've blown up your entire account on this one trade.
I'm going to do a market order to help you. It's costing me $44,345. Let's go ahead and make that happen. Order received, shares. It filled it at $44,297 for you. Now I am going to go and sell an option on it, and it's trading at 442. So what I want to do is,
Okay, so MSTR is up 11% that day. There's no reason why you couldn't sell a put option if you wanted to make this trade. And if you wanted to profit dollar for dollar, there are so many other ways that you could have used options to structure this transaction without buying the shares outright. You could have used an at-the-money call option with some put options, etc. This trade was just asking for trouble. And everyone who made this trade ended up getting crushed. She's down over $300,000 in a month and a half. But for her, it's not a problem because she has membership money rolling in every day to compensate for the losses.
When you do this, you do sell to open, and then you're going to do one because this is going to represent 100 shares. I am selecting a call. The expiration is going to be today because I want to go ahead and get out of this trade today and enjoy my weekend with my extra money.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, let's see. If I sell these, I could sell it for $442.50. That's just an extra 50 cents, but that's okay.
Let's pop some battles with this $1,000.
It's okay for the premium. And the worst thing that would happen is I get to keep the premium and then I can do this again next week.
Well, no, the worst thing that could happen is exactly what did happen, where you can end up taking a massive loss on your MSTR trade because you decided to concentrate your entire portfolio in a highly speculative security.
Look, I can get about a real 1042. This will probably be maybe, I'm going to put in, for the sake of this, I'm going to go ahead and put in 1025. Okay, it's during.
That doesn't even make sense. Why would you be so eager and aggressive to get a fill where you would start off your trade below the mid price? Oh, I actually know the answer. Because her desire to make content is more important than her desire to make good decisions. But unfortunately, that's not the case for her viewers.
Midday, I put in a limit. I'm going to gain $1,000 today.
Wow.
And it's going to pluck away my shares at the end of the day as long as we are trading at my strike price or higher. My strike price is $442.50, okay?
All right, y'all.
And
let's make this trade. So she's paying 65 cents for one contract. She definitely has to negotiate those commissions. With an account over $1 million, she's very foolish that she's paying that much. I'm paying 10 cents a contract. Why is she paying 65 cents? That's just wasted money that's going to the broker for no reason. And actually, the funny thing is that right now, when she placed this trade, MicroStrategy was trading at 444, so it had gone up. So I bet you that she could have gotten this filled at about $11 or $12 if she tried to do some price exploration. And I'm a little bit surprised that Fidelity did not give her price improvement, especially considering that the last time that this traded was $11.35, and the price had actually gone up by about $2 over the past couple of minutes.
Is this order? Actually,
I take that back. Fidelity did give her price improvement. It increased the price on the option that she sold by about $100. So good job, Fidelity.
Received $1,116 for this trade. So what'll happen at the end of the day, these 100 new shares that I just got them in my hands. Now I'm going to let go or just slightly higher. And then I received all this cash.
And me and the girls are going to pop some bottles tonight.
That is what you call a buy. Yes. Okay. So let's go over what could happen, what could go wrong. So let's talk about the worst case scenario and what I just did. Okay. I just bought 100 shares of MicroStrategy. So it was over $44,000.
Wow.
Okay. Now I sold the call. I get to keep that money, that $1,000 that I sold the call, mine.
That's mine.
Nobody can take that away from me. Now, if this stock happens to have another hit piece come on at it today,
Or if it just
and
goes
this
down.
stock tanks, let's say it drops down to $350. Well, those shares are mine, okay? I'll get to keep that premium, but it's still going to be a huge bummer because
It's definitely been a huge bummer considering that you're down around $300,000.
I'm holding shares that I just bought. I was willing to give them up, for a little bit more than I bought them for, but now the stock is tanked. So now I have to wait for the stock to recover to sell calls against it again.
Well, that's not really true. You don't necessarily need to wait for the stock to recover in order to sell additional calls. You can sell calls anytime you want. But like I said earlier in the video, if you're going to sell calls when the market price is below your cost basis, then you're just guaranteeing yourself a loss. The biggest problem with this type of trade is that it's so speculative that all of her viewers who have a smaller account who used margin ended up blowing up their account on this trade. And for what? Only 100 shares. You bought 100 shares of this speculative company, and in a month and a half, you ended up blowing up your account.
Okay? So that's the biggest risk. So you really don't want to do this on a stock you do not think will go back up, because otherwise you'll be left literally holding the bag because you just got $1,100. But what good is that if I then go and lose $10,000? Okay.
Well, yeah, Ashley, I don't know, because that's basically exactly what happened. In her own words, what good is $1,100 when you're down $14,000?
That's the way that works, and that's the risk associated with it. So if you think about it, it's best done if you buy the shares as low as possible and then wait until the stock's running.
Oh, but then why didn't you do
then
that?
Sell your calls. That way you insulate yourself quite a bit from pullbacks because you
But
got
she
the
didn't do
shares
that.
cheaper anyway. But this
Nobody knows what tomorrow's going to bring, and nobody knows how a stock is going to trade tomorrow. So the best thing that you can possibly do is to invest in the best companies with really strong brands that you believe 5 or 10 years from now are going to be trading significantly higher than they are right now, and not even touch a company like MicroStrategy.
a good way to trade. If you're going to do a buy right, you can do it at any point in the week. But this worked out good for me to do it today because it expired today. So I was able to take if the trade works in my favor, then what'll happen is I'll have those shares called away. I'll get all that money back in my broker that I just spent to buy the shares. Plus I'll be $1,100 richer from the premium that I got. And then I can go and do something fun this weekend.
Oh yeah, me and the girls are going to this strip club.
All right, let's see. Yes. Okay. So if it pulls, it's a great question. If it pulls back, let's say that MSTR pulls back to 440 and ends the day at 440. Well, I still have all those shares. Okay. So now next week, I can go ahead and
sell another
brand
covered
new
call
calls
and
at the
collect
end of the
more
week,
premium.
okay?
Yeah.
You're liking this? You
Yeah,
like
you like
learning
it.
live?
Y'all like
Good.
losing money, don't you?
Good. I know I know as YouTubers, it's so hard sometimes. You don't know, gosh, are these people really trading with real money?
Are they
Or
really
is
trading?
this
I mean, did you really just lose $300,000 on a speculative company that you have no business investing in? I don't know, Ashley. Maybe we should subpoena them records.
We're trading account? I've heard people, accuse other people of paper trading. So I know it's, a little intimidating to get on here and put my portfolio out there, but it is real. And, it shows you how it works. And if it can help you learn, that's the main thing.
We need you to learn how to lose money. And then you should give Ashley all your money.
You love a smaller stock like SoFi.
Oh, yeah.
You want to see if we can do this on SoFi? Would that be fun?
Yeah, that would be
for
fun.
A smaller account
because
too.
this worked out so well.
Place. You can do that. You can go purchase 100 shares of SoFi and then sell a covered call expiring the same day. And so we could do it on all sorts of different plays. And this is a wonderful way to get into the options game.
I completely disagree. This is a stupid strategy. Why would anyone make this? This trade structure and the way that she set it up is very, very stupid. With implied volatility so high on MSTR, That's the best time where you actually want to use options to your advantage. Why would you buy shares? And it's not even a market-leading stock. Rather, it's more of a speculative play. Why would you do that? And the crazy thing is that Ashley, on a relative basis, isn't even that bad. She's not a hardcore predator like Felix Pren from Goat Academy. No, she's not at all. That's why it really boggles my mind why she thinks that this trade was actually a good idea.
It's a safer way to get into the options game, really, because you don't risk so much the downside. You insulate yourself by selling a covered.
Barely insulate yourself. This is a great example of picking up pennies in front of the steamroller, because the amount of premium that you're going to receive by selling covered calls on a stock that falls over 30% in a month and a half, it's going to be nothing to compensate you for the massive losses that you're going to take on the long shares.
Yes, John is asking, you can do this on 0 days to expiration. It is a good way to trade on an ETF like the SPY if you've got that kind of cash.
All right, let's see what else she has.
So, all right, I hope the lesson was fun for all of you.
Oh, yeah. I hope it was fun for y'all to lose over $10,000.
I was a little bit nervous, but all of you showed up and it sounds like you learned something.
The crazy thing is she probably had some people who, instead of trading 100 shares, they might have bought 500 shares, and they're getting crushed on this trade.
So excited for that. And if you like this way of trading, if you like this type of YouTube content, just let me know and I will start doing it more often. And if you do want to join me, I have something exciting.
I got something exciting
today. I'll just go ahead and announce it here.
I got another Discord.
I am starting something called the New Trader Network.
Oh, yeah.
And I am...
So, the New Trader Network, right? We're going to go into Discord. Y'all going to pay me a lot of money. We're going to make one of these trades and then poof, it's gone. Similar to that South Park episode where they go into the bank and then the money disappears. It's going to be just like that, y'all. You're going to pay me money. You're going to make one of these damn here trades and then poof, your account is gone.
Accepting individuals into a Discord. It's separate from my larger Discord where we have a lot of active trading going on. But the New Trader Network is designed for those that want to learn and they just need more handholding, but they don't have huge accounts right now. Maybe they're trading with about 5,000 and they just want to learn. I have an opportunity for them now.
Oh, yeah.
Join me.
I got a great opportunity for you.
For them to start to get some instruction. I have one of my coaches in
one
that
of my
particular
coaches
Discord
is doing
in my
it. He's
Trader
the
Network,
best.
and he's going to help people along the way. The price entry point is much lower than joining the larger community.
Y'all can pay me to lose money on trades like this.
Is, once you get to the point and you've built up your account and you feel confident, you can always upgrade to the larger community where you're going to get a lot more interaction.
And then the crazy thing is, look at some of the comments on this. These people are sheep. This channel needs to be at 1 million subscribers. Best option seller on YouTube. I did this trade, bought slightly lower and sold the cover call at a higher strike. I'm a member and I'm up 18% in 3 months. Yeah, well, I would venture to guess that you're probably closer to down 18% right now than up 18%. Would love to see more of you live trading to see if your trading style works. Thanks. Well, this trade definitely didn't work. I have tried to learn options trading for years. The other guys somehow are too technical for me to understand, or they just talk too fast for me. However, TWA makes it so easy for me to understand how it all works. She gave me confidence to try it. I did 3 sell cover calls last week, and I enjoyed my $900 premium I got out of it. Thank you, Trading with Ashley. So they sold 3 cover calls. That means they're long 300 shares, which means that they're down around $45,000. And I wonder if they're still enjoying their $900 of premium. I don't know. But Ashley is so proud of you, though, so that matters a lot. I love the way you explain options in a very clear and concise manner. And I'm sure this helps out beginners learning to trade options. I personally wouldn't do this trade, and it's high risk. You are 100% right. You will have a lot of capital blocked until the stock rises, especially if you have a smaller account. Yeah, that's another thing, based upon the capital requirements and the buying power requirements for going long the shares. I love how she makes being down 9% a good thing when stock pulls back. Okay, so this person is actually bringing a little bit of truth. This was so helpful. Unreal, you are just fantastic, Ashley. Wow, sold the call for next, I'm assuming week, already at 650. Feeling far more confident in my strike price as well as when I placed the option. Sold the call near the top of the day today. You did an awesome job, Ashley, as usual, showing us these examples of writing option contracts. Almost all of her audience are just D-riders. She's down around $300,000 in her account, and I believe that a lot of her followers have blown up their accounts. But still, no accountability. They love her. This is fantastic. When I'm done day trading Friday morning, I can use the same money to do the strategy to make more money and have my original money available again Monday morning for day trading. Oh yeah, this person's going to be the next Warren Buffett. And she says, absolutely. Oh man, such a grift. Okay, so this person, Eric Johnson, they made a really, really good point, which is exactly what I said in the video earlier. I'm going to guess the shares probably didn't get called away, especially with the extra $10 premium the buyer would have had to pay on top of the strike price. I think MSTR presented a unique volatility opportunity that would have been okay to sell puts, even with the stock running up. Looking out to November 29th, which is just 1 week out, because the volatility was so high, even strike prices as low as $275 to $325 offered almost $1,000 in premium, plus the opportunity to own the shares at much more reasonable strike. This is 100% on point. Look, we don't know what the stock's going to do tomorrow, the next day, etc. If you're super bullish on MSTR, maybe you think that it's a great company. Maybe you're more bullish on it than I am. Why would you buy it at $442? Do exactly what this person says. Sell a far out of the money put option, pick up $1,000 and be done with it, no problem. There's no reason for you to make such a risky trade, especially because your maximum profit was only going to be around $1,000. You basically max out your profit at around $1,100, where you had hundreds of dollars of downside risk and you had no protection. This was an incredibly stupid trade and an incredibly stupid trade structure. So yeah, that's basically it. If you have any comments, then let me know. And watch this video that's coming up on your screen right here because YouTube believes that you would enjoy it the most.